Here we're going to look at the difference between a change in the quantity demanded versus a change in demand. Recall that in previous videos and in class we've talked about how the change in quantity demanded is just movement along the demand curve. And I want to reiterate again that the change in quantity demanded means the individual or the market that we're talking about has stayed the exact same. The only thing that's changed is the price. So on this example, the individual, in this case Catherine, has stayed the exact same. This curve represents her particular preferences and behaviors. So she stayed the same, the curve doesn't move, but instead what happens is that the price goes up, so she decides to buy less. This is a change in the quantity demanded. Again, reiterating that the market or the person that we're looking at has stayed the same. It's the price that's changed. And since the demand schedule and the demand curve reflect the different price-quantity relationships for that person, then a change in the price represents a change in the quantity demanded. So what is the difference between a change in the quantity demanded and the change in demand? Well, as I said before, a change in the quantity demanded is really just explaining how an individual reacts to a change in price. A change in demand is what happens when that individual or that market changes in some way. So what happens then is because they demand the good more or less, they demand it more or less, meaning that they'll buy more at every single price. Let's look at what this really means in action. The things that will cause a change in demand are the number of buyers, related goods prices, like complements and substitutes, also changes in the buyer's income, the buyer's tastes, and the buyer's expectations for the future. All of these things are going to affect their demand for the good, and this is essentially where demand comes from in the first place. In this case, when we have an increase in demand, demand moves to the right. Anytime we have a decrease in demand, demand is going to move, the demand curve is going to shift to the left. Well, the ultimate difference here between the two is that while a change in the quantity demanded is movement along the curve, in other words, the buyers reacting to a price change, a change in demand is the buyers themselves changing, meaning that they have different preferences for this good now.